Good afternoon and welcome to Stampin' with Margaret from the She Shed. Today I'm doing a video blog hop for the Stampin' Around the World video blog, and this month's theme for March is black and white, and I came up with this card. I'm in another group and we also have a monthly theme, and in that monthly theme we were using shapes. And when I was looking on Pinterest and some things and ideas that I had found before, that I liked, I had saved something like this, and I thought, oh, that's great, that's a nice shape, it's something different to try. And then I started playing around with it to see could I make it work with black and white. Now, I have to say I prefer this one with the different tones, but the black and white is still quite smart. And what I did was I used a pearlized vellum for the flowers rather than using just ordinary white cardstock. And I thought it might elevate it a little bit, and I did a little bit of stamping here. But today I'm going to be using this stamp set, Delightful Wishes, which is still current. And I'm using some of the dies from it. Now, what I have done to make things easier, I have some of the stuff prepared, and I have some flowers prepared again with the vellum and white and the vellum and black to see what sort of combination I'm going to like when I'm putting the card together. And another idea I had to elevate the card was to actually use an embossing folder. So I have embossed this sheet and I'm going to lay my stripes on it just to elevate the card a little bit and see, just to give it more depth and more interest. And the embossing of that daffodil folder I always love, and it's lovely and deep and it gives good texture. So that's going to be part of the card as well. So what I have done, and as any of you who follow me know, I always make 5x7 cards. I find the 4x6 is just a little bit too small. So what I've done, I've cut lengths of cardstock in 1/4 inch width, and I've cut them longer than the 7 inches because I want to be able to trim off the ends. Now, what I have done here is I have a wide double-sided tape, and then just to finish the 2.5 inches, because that's what I've used, is half at the center of the card. I have taken off I have used just thin strips of the tear and tape. Now, if you didn't have wide double-sided tape, you could use the whole tear and tape on it, or you could use the Tombow glue and let it go slightly tacky and then put your pages down on it. So what I do is, when I start with this, I don't expose all of the sticky tape because I don't want to go, I don't want it to go sticking to my hands. Now I'm going to move this up so that I can put this down on my glass mat, but I have the white paper on the glass mat to stop any reflection from the lights. So I'm putting this down again, and I'm now going to put this back over it. And I'm going to start just along the edge, put down the strips, and I can trim all off again. So it's just literally alternate black and white, or if you're using the colours at another stage. And I would say to you to try and do this with the colours as well, because even if you just use colours all in the one colour family, it can work out beautifully. But the thing I love about all these different groups that I am in and the different challenges is that it kind of makes you think outside the box, and it stops you just making the same things over and over, and you kind of have to do a little bit of research, have a look around, get ideas, and then see what papers you have that will work within a theme. And at my class the other day, I was just showing the ladies like literally how my thought process works for something like this, where I have the theme of black and white, and then I think about, okay, I have that lovely paper that has all the musical instruments in it in black and white, or you know, I have something else will pop into my head straight away of an idea. But if the well is running dry and I can't think of something to do, what I would often do then is I will go into my Pinterest page, and if I'm want to use a stamp set, or if I want to just do a black and white card, I'll actually just type in to the search engine in Pinterest and say black and white card and see what comes up. Or I would say make a card using the Delightful Wishes stamp set. And the other thing I have done on my Pinterest, if anybody is interested, is for every stamp set that I have bought or that I'm using, I will set up a complete folder with ideas of all the different cards that I can find on the internet. Now, what always happens is I'd see something and I'll try to case that card, but 9 times out of 10, even if it's my own card and I'm trying to duplicate it, I will change something, or something will be slightly different. Like on this card now, I'm going to use my the embossing folder just to see how different does that look. So I'm going to lift that up here. Now, the other thing is, this sticky is over the edge. I'm going to cut that with my scalpel because it will make it easier. It's easier to cut it that way than trying to do it with the scissors or the or any of the guillotines or paper cutters. That comes off nice and handy. Now, so you're not going to get blinded, I'll move this all back, and what I'll do here is I'll trim it off at this end. I turn it up this way. And by the way, what I've used here to use my sticky tape on is copy paper. You can use cardstock, but it can get too thick. Whereas if you just use the photocopy paper, it isn't too thick and it doesn't make too much bulk on the card. So I'm going to measure this now to my 5x7 card base. Now I'll come along later with my rubbing alcohol, and it'll take all that sticky off my cutter at a later stage. So this is my card base, and as I said, it's a 5x7 card. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down the layer of embossed paper. Now, if you were being very frugal and you were making a few cards, you could cut this in half and just have these lying side by side, but I'm going to layer one on top of the other just to give a nice bit of weight to the card and make it feel more luxurious, because when somebody takes a card out of an envelope and it's nice and heavy, it really does feel luxurious. So this is my 5x7 embossed piece, and this is where on the other cards that I was doing, the shapes came in. I was taking the diagonal or the square. Now you can use any of your basic shapes, and I have here, I'm going to use the square and I'm going to put it just by eye in the center. You don't have to be very fussy with it, but I'll just take this to my embossing machine or my cutting machine, and I'll be with you in 2 seconds. You can all talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. Why do these things always seem to take an age when you have people on hold on a video? I'll be back with you very quickly. Well, as you can see, what I have done is I've lined the center point here and the center point down here, because when you take this apart, and be careful with your washi tape that you're not going to tear just a little bit, just like I did there, but I'll have to cover that with something, possibly the sunflowers or something like that, but it's a bit annoying, but that it has happened. We'll go with the flow. So what you do now is you stick this down to the left or right. It doesn't have to be either or, but I think maybe because I'm left-handed, or sorry, because I'm right-handed, I like things to sit on the left. But as I said, it doesn't have to be either or. You can just, whichever way is most pleasing to you. And then you take the piece you cut out and you lay it on the opposite side, lining it up to give you the whole new shape. Now, the next thing is the sentiments and the flowers. Now, I haven't a clue what I'm going to do with this. So maybe if I do the flowers in a cluster up here. And I think I like just the white on white. And I'll put in a couple of these little tiny black ones, the black and white. Maybe move it this way. And all these are little flower dies from this Delightful Wishes set, which is still in the catalogue and still available. It came with beautiful yellow papers this time last year, and it's just one of the ones I fell madly in love with. So so I think I'll put wishing, and again, I'm not sticking anything down yet. I'm just auditioning the decorations. Now, as you can see on this card, I put the sentiment in here, and on this card I put it down at the bottom on the pattern, and on this side I put it on the white piece. So really it will take your sentiment anywhere, but I think I'll go something like this. Now, I've already die cut the label, and that is actually in the stamp set as well, because it's the lovely lines of wishing you were here, lots of love, or whatever, so they look really well. Now, this is an idea I got from Liz Yule on Old Staples Crafts, and it is actually the white ink pad for the white ink. But what I have done is I have put my Memento ink into this, and I find it very handy for doing the stamping with the Memento black, and it can be very, it just turns out lovely, and I think it stamps better. Sometimes Memento could look very grey, so I find with that ink pad it looks very black. So, wishing you a happy birthday. Now, the other thing I did with that, because it was so narrow and a bit flimsy, I put a tiny bit of the glue tape, this Stampin' seal, on the back of it and stuck it down so it wouldn't move, and it really does help when you're doing something very, very small. So what I want to do with this is I want to raise it up. I'll take a few of these Stampin' Dimensionals and add them on. I'll take the back off. Move all this out of my way. And I think what I'll do is wishing you a happy birthday down here. And Yes, I'll put more dimensionals on here. Just find the spots on the back of the die where the dimensional will fit. And I'm going to kind of lay this over the happy birthday, and that is not straight. Again, I'll use the lines on my paper as a guide, and that's straighter. So I'll let the letters of the G come down over there. And I'm not going to put the glue all over the flower at the back, because I want them kind of to fit in and overlap and not be flattened to the card. Now they may flatten in postage, but at least this way there's still a little bit of movement. And I'm going to put some of these little flowers, tuck them in here and there. And again, I'll go back to the visual triangle of the 3 little black pieces. And I will put some of these clear dots. Well, I think I might be cheating a little bit. There's a little bit of colour in them, but they're more like an aurora borealis than a clear, but I think they're just lovely shiny little pearl. And put them on the little black pieces here, and I'll put a couple down here. Now this flower actually just landed itself down here, and I think it might be nice just to put it to the side to bring the top down. Another little bead here. And there you have my black and white card wishing you a happy birthday. Very elegant with the black and white. You could give it to a gentleman even with the flowers on it, or just a very classy lady with very Chanel looking or something like that, but I think it turned out very well. So when you have finished watching my blog, I would love you to like and share it so that I get more visitors to my page, and also to click the more button down below and follow on with the rest of the lovely Stampin' Up! Demonstrators from all over the world who are taking part in this blog hop. They come up with some fantastic ideas, and there's always something different, and it'll be amazing to see what ideas people come up with just using black and white and a little bit of a trimmer and some flowers. And if you didn't have die cutting machines, you could fussy cut out white flowers, add them on, you know, and just with the two colors make a very elegant card. So as I said, please don't forget to follow on with the rest of the ladies under the more button down below, and give us all a little bit of support in our hobby, and share all of our designs and ideas, and hopefully we will help some of you to come up with some of your own ideas as well. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Thank you again for watching. Please like and share and follow on this blog hop for Stamping Around the World. Thank you very much. Bye bye.